Hello everyone, it's great to walk with you again. Today, while we are walking, I'll tell you a detailed summary of the case, A Scandal in Bohemia. It is a tale about the only woman in history who ever defeated Sherlock Holmes. The appearance of the woman. In the mind of Sherlock Holmes, Irene Adler always holds a unique and solitary position. It wasn't that Holmes loved her, for romantic emotions were seen by his cold, precise mind as the enemy of logic, but because she was the only woman who ever outwitted him in a battle of brains. The story begins when Dr. Watson visits 221B Baker Street and finds Holmes deciphering a mysterious letter sent from German nobility. The Masked Visitor and the Royal Secret. At the appointed hour, a tall, powerfully built man wearing a black mask enters the room. He introduces himself as Count von Krom, but Holmes instantly strips away his identity. He is none other than Wilhelm Gottsreich Sigismund von Ornstein, the King of Bohemia. The king is in a desperate situation. He is about to marry a Swedish princess known for her strict principles. However, in the past, he had a romantic entanglement with Irene Adler, a beautiful and brilliant opera singer. Irene possesses a photograph of the two of them together and is threatening to send it to the bride's family on the day the betrothal is announced to ruin the marriage. The king has tried everything, hiring burglars, searching her luggage, even waylaying her on the road, but the photograph remains hidden. Holmes takes the case. Holmes begins his investigation disguised as a drunken groom. He lingers around Irene's villa, Bryony Lodge, and gathers vital information. He learns that Irene is frequently visited by a lawyer named Godfrey Norton. In a hilarious turn of events, while a disguised Holmes is following them to a church, he is dragged inside to serve as a witness for the secret wedding of Irene and Norton. This proves that Irene is a woman of great resolve and many surprises. The Smoke and Mirrors Plan. To find the hiding place of the photo, Holmes orchestrates a sophisticated trap. He enlists Watson's help. Holmes disguises himself as a kindly clergyman. As Irene Adler returns home, a group of men hired by Holmes fakes a fight at her doorstep. Holmes plays the hero, rushing to protect her, and pretends to be seriously injured so that he is carried into her sitting room. At that moment, on signal, Watson throws a smoke rocket through the window and shouts, "Fire! Fire!" Holmes's logic was simple. When a woman thinks her house is on fire, her first instinct is to save her most precious possession. Just as predicted, in the panic, Irene rushed to a secret panel in the wall to check the photograph. Holmes now had the exact location. The classic twist. The next morning, Holmes, Watson, and the King of Bohemia arrive at the villa confidently to seize the photo. However, they are stunned to find the house empty. The maid informs them that Irene and her husband left England during the night. Inside the secret panel, the photograph of the king and Irene is gone. In its place is a portrait of Irene Adler alone and a letter addressed to Sherlock Holmes. In the letter, Irene reveals she had been warned about the famous detective. She recognized him in his clergyman disguise and even followed him back to Baker Street dressed as a young man to confirm her suspicions. Irene writes that she is keeping the photo only for self-defense, to ensure the king will not harm her in the future, as she now has a husband she truly loves. She congratulates Holmes on finding the hiding place, but declares that she is the final winner. The respect of a master detective. The King of Bohemia is immensely relieved that the photo will not be leaked. He offers Holmes a priceless emerald ring as a reward, but Holmes refuses. The only thing Holmes asks for is to keep the portrait of Irene Adler. From that day on, whenever Sherlock Holmes spoke of Irene Adler, he never called her by name. He always referred to her with the utmost respect as the woman. A rare defeat, but perhaps the greatest lesson the brilliant detective ever learned about the sharp wit of a woman. And with this ending, our walk ends here. Thank you for walking with me to the end of the journey, and see you again soon in another adventure with so many more amazing books and stories. Goodbye for now.